Mzansi, ube mnandi, zonke izinto zibe manzi. Homie, don't worry, hold up. No mgozi goza paying off, skinning in. Dishing out the truth, so start tuning in. Can't tolagale. Come get skata ole wale. Social issues, pitch so easily. Giving you the latest news so instantly. Gender we tighter. Keep the channel locked on Mzansi Insider.
To have you in studio finally. Yes, we've been campaigning for Tresor in studio. Finally here. This is exactly why we wanted him here, to turn up on a Sunday.
Thank you, man.
Let's talk about the work that you're doing, Tresor. I mean, you're blowing up, dog, and we can even see it, dog. You look next level.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
How's it been for you?
It's been really good. Traveling a lot, making new music, doing what I love, and I'm really, really grateful.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Traveling a lot where? Just like, you know, name drop a couple of places that you've been to recently, that you've been doing that we should be knowing about, yeah?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of recording, obviously, in outside of South Africa. Can't really mention yet, but we just had a new #1 in Europe, which I'll be heading out soon for a little tour in Italy and a few other countries. Yeah.
Wow. What can we expect? I know the album, we can't talk when and how it's going to come out, but is there a new sound that you're bringing to the table?
As an artist, I think one of the most thing, the thing that really inspires me the most and the most fun thing I do is pretty much be experimental. I've been listening to a lot of like old South African music, so Kaifa Semenya,
Nice.
Sipo Hostix, Chico Twala, you know, and for me it's like it's a mood that I'm in and I'm just trying to create music that can make people dance. It's still have fun with it, you know. So yeah, I'm just having fun with the music and I try not to put myself in a box because that's what music is about. I'd rather do music that I really love and feel, and that's pretty much it. It just, I don't know, maybe you'll judge for yourself if it's new or not, but I'm having fun with the music.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing the album. It's coming up soon, but we're not going to let him go that easily. Just a little bit later on as we talk to him about I Got Over It. Now, one of my favorite segments on the show, and we'll be talking about, you know, him facing quite real challenges in his life and climbing up that ladder. But right now, it's time for us to check out what this lineup looks like today.
I feel South Africa is my musical birthplace.
Yeah.
I come from a very small city called Goma. It's Eastern DRC, so it's known for atrocities and stuff.
Okay.
Here we go. We don't always have happy relationships.
Ooh.
This is a very sad case of abuse, but not by the owner.
Take me through growing up in KZN for you.
I think it was a simple life, you know, when you're growing up and it's your folks and you're living literally on the farms, which is where we were.
Keep the channel locked on Mzansi Insider. You know what it is, Mzansi Insider.
Welcome back. Are you in the right career? We have an expert in studio. She's no stranger to our show. We're getting deep into career coaching. In career coaching. And are you doing the right things you need to be doing in order to prepare yourself? In studio. One of our insiders. Ladies. Hello.
Hello.
I felt like if he wasn't here, it would have been like, it's a ladies' day.
Ladies' Day. Okay. Now, ladies, we're talking about careers, and this is a really important, pivotal part of our lives, you know? So I want to hear from Zolega. Just tell us about your situation.
I'm studying BA in honors in communications.
Okay.
And basically, what I have found difficult leaving school is that it's a job, finding a job. You understand? Yeah. So also negotiating salaries, for example, and also what you learn in school is totally different from what you find in the workplace. So how do you negotiate your way around that? And how do you make your mark?
What do you want your job to be?
I want to influence change, basically. I worked as in communications before, so what I would do is disseminate information, basically. And I feel like that's how you influence change. And also I did a BA in journalism, and I feel like that's how you influence change in society. And that's what I would like to do. So you would
want to maybe be in a broadcasting space, or in like a...
hard news, for example. Yes.
Or corporate.
Yeah, or corporate, yes.
Okay.
So that's what I would like to do.
All right. She mentioned quite a few things.
Yes, I think let's start from the beginning. In trying to find do you know which sort of companies you want to work for? Have you identified those?
I think NGOs. I worked for an NGO before, and that's where I was doing communications. But also I was an intern for the Mail and Guardian, and I was part of the news team as well as the investigative team, Amabungani. So I think I gathered a lot of information from both of those, you know.
Is there someone you've identified who you can model your career after, who you think is doing exactly what you want to do?
I think who I like is Ridi Direko, or Ridi Tlabi now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you know exactly where she stands on an issue. There are no two ways about it. And I like that she is decisive. She's a woman a black woman who's decisive in the industry, and she gets what she wants.
Indeed, she does.
She definitely does. So I think Zalega, the key here as well is to see you're now finishing your honors, so your skill set is at this point. Reedy's skill set is at that point. That difference is what you need to discuss and figure out how you're going to achieve that skill set in order to get to where Reedy is. So your choices in which career you're going to, which companies you go to, all of that will determine how you maneuver your way around. You mentioned the Mail and Guardian, so you've done some internship there, and I think that's a very big tip for all our viewers. It is important that you reach out to the organizations that you want to work for and offer your services, even if it's volunteering initially. One, it establishes trust with them. They get to know your personal brand, and you get to know them. And also helps you identify if what they're trying to do is aligned to what you're wanting. So once you've identified that skill set, you then maneuver your way around. Another thing that you mentioned, which I think is very, very critical, is the negotiation of salaries. You're coming from a zero base, right? Because you haven't been working. So the important thing then is to do a little bit of investigation, because you love investigative journalism, and figure out what are people getting paid currently in that industry. You'll be very surprised how people are willing to discuss things. Use the website www.payscale.co.za. It gives you it's sort of a dipstick test to see how...
That's my go-to.
Yes, to see how much people are getting paid. The second thing, I think, and we very much are obsessed with the money element. It's important to negotiate other perks. Equity is a very big thing, so negotiate shares. So if you're going into an NGO, not necessarily you won't be doing shares, but if you are going into a more private space, you say, guys, thank you so much for the cost to company, but can I also have shares with regards to that, because it boosts your earnings. And then also you wanted to study a little bit further. Really is very well read and very well studied. So guys, could you please pay for my education in the form of a bursary, which takes away from finances that you would have to pay.
You know, Vumi, how do you go about choosing a career? Is it something that you fall into that happens by chance, Noma? Is it something that you set out and go and look for a specific career?
I think it's important here then to do aptitude tests. One, it'll give you a good understanding of who you are. So you can find out, I'm an introvert, like you said, you don't really want to be facing people up front, but you want to be behind the scenes.
Not just aptitude test.
You can do it with your local psychologist, and you can also do it very much online. You can, it's usually a small fee. You can pay between 400 Rand just to do an aptitude test, or if you want to do a very comprehensive one, you can pay up to 3,000 Rand.
And I know in schools as well, they offer it, so you can ask your LO teacher if they can set it up for you guys. I know schools do it as well,
So the first piece is the aptitude test to see where you're naturally inclined and your capabilities. The second is a personality test. It's very amusing how little we know ourselves. So you start figuring out, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you the kind of person who likes structure? Are you more creative? That will start pointing you in the right direction. Once you've been pointed in the right direction, then the research begins. So let's say, like Zoe, you're a little bit introverted, but you're passionate about information, you're passionate about justice, you're wanting people to have access to things. Then we start saying, okay, you're naturally inclined that way. She loves English, clearly. So we start all of a sudden digging down and figure out what career works for her. And once and then it's an exposure thing. That's when you go to them and they say, please can I intern with you guys? Because then you start saying, oh, there are different types of journalism. And it changes everything for you.
So now you're able to pick. Any more questions you might have for her?
I know, because you kind of decide what you want to do at the end of high school, right? So when you begin varsity, you start changing a whole lot, right? So what happens then when you don't want to change courses because you feel like it's a waste of time? So how do you then maneuver around that space? Because now I've decided that, okay, I want to do engineering. And then I decided, then varsity shows me that, life is happening. That's not where I want to be. And then now you just want to change spaces. How do you maneuver around that?
Interesting thing is that most people will have 4 to 5 careers in their lifetime. Most people have 4 to 5. So if it's not technical necessity, something like engineering, for example, I studied accounting, I can't now go design a bridge because I didn't study that. But if it's something within the same sort of industry, it's very, very easy to maneuver around. All you do is identify where your gaps are missing from a skill perspective.
Last words from you, everybody at home who's watching, in the same position, about to go to varsity, about to finish, and careers are becoming a real thing. It's not now just a topic, it's something real. What would you say to them?
I think the best thing I can say is definitely find someone you can model your career around. Find out what skill sets they have, identify what's missing, and then take it from there. And Google is your friend.
Thank you so much, ladies. I hope you've learned
a lot. Quite a lot, yes.
Yeah. So lovely guests, thank you once again. Right now, though, we chill and have good times with an ad break as we come back.
It's a break. We'll be back.
I come from a very small city called Goma. It's Eastern DRC, so it's known for atrocities and stuff. So we experience a lot of people dying on the street as young kids, like 8, 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Keep the channel locked on Mzansi Insider. You know what it is, Mzansi Insider.
We all have a success story, but some are the stuff of miracles.
Apart from his chart-topping tracks to his international tours, Tresor definitely lives a star's dream. He has recently hit #1 selling a dance song on Italy's iTunes for his hit single, Never Let Me Go. But life was not always this easy, for there was a time when he called the streets his office, where he had to work as a car guard to survive on the streets of Durban. So earlier on, we promised you and now he's joining us so we can chat a little bit more. Awesome performance that you opened the show with. And now we get to sit down and talk. So you've been in South Africa for quite a while, and your story basically starts with you being a security guard by night and a car guard by day. How did that come about?
I mean, thank you first for having me here today, but as a young person moving into a new country, trying to adjust, it's always, I think, a very hard start. And I found myself in a situation where I had literally no money or means to live. So I had to do the best I could, you know, to live. And the best work and job I could get was being a car guard first. Yeah. And eventually, I think because I looked a little buff, I got to do some security guard work. Yeah. And yeah, it was such an incredible, I think, experience then. It was very tough and not so fun, but now I look at it, I think for the past 8 years being in South Africa, doing different jobs, being a gardener and all that stuff, kind of shaped the artist and the man that I am today.
But you left home, you lost your parents, if I'm not mistaken, and you're in a new country, you're hustling for a job, you're trying to get the music out there. What's going through your mind? Why didn't you give up? Why didn't you just like save enough money to go back home?
I think that's actually luxury, you know. If you have something better to go back to, then you'll think about that, you know. I personally, I think where I come from is like most of my friends, you know, it's the same circle, you know. You finish school, you finish university, you probably don't have a job. You get married, you have kids, and then it's like the same circle repeats, you know. And I personally wanted something different for myself. And I told myself it doesn't matter where you start. And whether I started really, really very low, I had so much faith and perseverance in what I had inside that someday, you know, the world will get to see and experience what I'm feeling deep inside about my talent.
That's deep.
Now, let's speak about the music. I mean, were you always passionate about music, even as a car guard and a security guard? Was that something that was on your mind the whole time?
Yeah. Music and I go pretty much a long way back, since I was 8 years old. So it's actually a very, how I came pretty much in touch with music is during Rwandan genocide in 1994. I come from a very small city called Goma. It's Eastern DRC, so it's known for atrocities and stuff. So it was like the getaway city for Rwandan refugees.
Oh, wow.
So we experienced a lot of people dying on the street as young kids, like 8, 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so what the parent did that could afford, they'll take us to a local church center where there were instruments and stuff. And that's how we spent our day, so we can avoid seeing like the atrocities happening in the city and stuff, and people dying of hunger and stuff. So that's how I got to learn drums and starting. So I was very young, and from there I just pretty much never stopped. Yeah, from there I pretty much carry on learning music until I decided this is what I want to do for a living.
Would you say that's where music started being a source of comfort, a source of place of refuge for you away from everything, I think, even now?
Yeah, thinking about it, it's like there's a lot of kids around the world, even in Asia at the moment with Syria, kids that have pretty much been scarred with things they've seen. But it became so normal to them that like, it became so normal. But I think for me, personally, music was kind of a refuge and a therapy to an escape that kind of pretty much helped me throughout my adulthood and pretty much help my mind get off a lot of things.
Stay sane, basically.
So now you're in Durban as a security guard and a car guard. What are you doing to keep the music going? How are you pushing the music?
So obviously I learned very young that as an artist, you get to practice, right? So, and I'm a fast learner. And what I did, most of my money went to a little internet cafe, which is under my building. I used to live in this area in town. It's a very rough area called Albert Park in Durban. Okay. So I live in a flat with 10 other guys, you know, we live in a little small flat. And then I'll come back, I used to get about maybe $2.5 grand a month. I come back, probably most of it, after paying my rent, you'll go back to the internet because I'll keep researching, looking for managers, labels, and looking for studio I can record my demo. So that's pretty much what I did for like years, you know, until I got my first manager actually a few months when I came in, and we went on the open actually for Ladies Me Black Mambazo, 80 grand, freshly ground. That was in 2008. Yeah, and pretty much that's what I did. And I always tell my mates, joking, that internet saved my life because most of the big contacts I made were pretty much through the internet. Yeah.
Wow. So you didn't sit back
the internet
and kind of work.
Your life.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Let's speak about where you are now. Did you ever, back then, when you were surfing the net and looking for managers and whatever, did you ever envision it to be what it is today?
I don't think, you know, in all our lives, we don't ever envisage like what the future's like. We have an idea. I've always had a dream since I was young. I want to sing music English because I kind of feel, deep inside, I kind of feel like the world will relate more than if I sing in French or I sing in Swahili. I've always had a dream of traveling the world to make music. And what happened is that, and I think sometimes when we speak things into life, so when I started making my first album, if I have to be honest with you, I had 3 grand in my account. I had no managers, I had nobody. And then the first song that I sent out was Mount Everest, which became #1 in Italy and some countries last year. I sent that to a lot of people, and one of the people that came back to me was AKA manager, Rafael Benza, who was a very good friend. And then we started working from there. And out of the blue, on the internet, someone found it on YouTube in Europe, and that's how it opened the doors. There are a lot of songs on YouTube. They just found out, they called, and so you never really know, you never plan it. And I think the best you can do, you have in control, is pretty much shape your product, shape your music the best you can, and because you never know who's gonna hear and listen.
One of the most interesting things about somebody who starts from the bottom and builds their way up is that they always have something that they've learned from their past experiences. What would you say you've learned from that dark time in your life?
I've learned in life, man, never neglect the man next to you. Never, and also, you know, it's like just treasure everybody, man. Treasure everybody, give respect to everybody. You know, it's not about, and don't let ever money on material things. I think you better than the person next to you. You know, and yeah, it doesn't matter where you start. You know, doesn't matter where you start. The end is always. For me, the end is always the best, you know, the best and the best picture, you know. Where you start doesn't really matter, you know, you can be anything pretty much.
So profound, hey?
Treasure the man next to you, and your name is Tresor, which means treasure, right?
Yes.
Names. If you had a moment, which we're giving you now, to thank anyone who's kind of helped you get to this place, who would you?
Sure, like for me, you know, people, so every time I travel, obviously, because I live here, they call me, Tresor South African artist, which I'm very proud of because I feel South Africa is my birthplace, my musical birthplace. Yeah. And people that have contributed the most to my career have been from this country. Yeah. And I mean, there's so many people. My first manager, Rod Nichols, a really, really good friend. Amelie Perimel, Rafael Benza, my current manager. Yeah. My publisher that I signed with in 2010 from Universal, Ryan Hill. The list is crazy. There is a person called Bradley Leach, a person who gave me a little box outside his house for 4 years without paying a single cent, you know, of rent, just because, like, man, one day you're gonna make it and you'll come and thank me. Just go and go write music, you know. So for me, I think South Africa as a whole has played a major role in my life as an artist and as a human being, and I can't be grateful enough for the contribution in this path of mine that I'm still starting.
Have you gone home back to perform?
Not performing.
Not yet?
I've actually, you know, not many people know, but I just had a little get-together with my family in Central Africa 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since we were all together, like my parents. Yeah, so it was really amazing. I think for me, Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. You just gotta treasure the people you love, treasure the moments, and that's pretty much it. Performing will come, I'm sure, at some time, but my main thing was pretty much to come together with my blood. Yeah.
We treasure you. You are so phenomenal.
You are a treasure.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely beautiful story, and we hope that your story continues to inspire other people.
No, thank you very much. Been
for
great
joining
to be
us.
here.
I'm a bit nervous because I have a dog phobia. I think phobia is pushing it a bit, that the animal does.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. And remember, a dog is a man's best friend.
Sure.
You know what it is, Mzansi Insider.
Welcome back. Now, we always say we cover every relationship. So, vandaag sizokhuluma relationship that many take for granted, and it's your relationship with your pets. Like, what's the vibe like between you and your pets? Somebody's excited.
The babies. You never liked the babies. I have two babies. I have Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley.
By babies, she means cats.
Yes, I have 3 cats. Mr. Darcy, Mr. Bingley, and cats.
And she knits.
I don't knit.
Yeah,
I think people have amazing relationships. This is at Coca Siata, sometimes we pretend as if, but you actually find a lot of people who have awesome relationship with the animals, because animals are just those things that make you feel nice inside and mushy, and like my babies cuddle with me, and then they follow me around the house, and then I get angry when they pull the toilet paper, but that's all part of the job.
She's never gonna stop if we don't stop her.
Hey, don't be jealous if you don't have pets, but if you do have relationship issues, Facebook, the social media, the Twitter, Instagram, but email yona ke Mzansi Insider at bungwe.tv. Re batla utlwa wena o re tshwaretse eng.
What's happening, Buffett? It is time for relationship goals, right here on Mzansi Insider. So today, we decided to do it with a little bit of a twist. We took it to the streets. I'm at the PDSA in Mfulo out in Soweto. So we're speaking about our relationships with our pets. I'm gonna meet Lori K, and she's gonna tell us everything we need to know about our pets. Let's go. Hey, Lori.
Hey, how
you doing?
What's up?
A lot is up. I'm a bit nervous because I have a dog phobia. I think phobia is pushing it a bit. I'm just scared of dogs. How do I deal?
Oh, you don't have to be scared, but just relax and breathe.
Okay.
And remember, a dog is a man's best friend.
True.
Protection, love, friendship, all of those things. All of and the above.
I think by the time I leave today, I'll be fully converted.
Absolutely.
Should we go inside?
Absolutely, you're most welcome. All right.
Nice, I love all these colors already.
Absolutely. Well, we do the colors and all of that, all about animals. And basically it's to educate people about primary health care. Dogs should be vaccinated at 6, 10 and 14 weeks old. Vaccinations will prevent your pet from contracting diseases such as parvo, So we do all of this here. So when you're sitting in the waiting room, you're educating yourself at the same time. So, and you also, people interact with each other and have a conversation with each other about, did you vaccinate your pets?
Okay, now let's speak a bit more about the PDSA. What does PDSA stand for?
Okay, it stands for the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. Okay. So we're not only offering a service just to the animal, we're also helping the community.
Nice.
And the PDSA is actually primarily for people that cannot afford the services of a private vet. So when you cannot afford the services of a private vet, you come here, and if you're a SISA client, we give you a discount, or if you can't afford it, we still treat the animal. The animal, of course, is the main focus, the key focus. We do vaccinations, sterilizations, we do broken legs and pinning and plating, we do x-rays, we do all of those. We do tick bite fever, we do parvo,
so this is like
all the
a
treatments.
proper vet,
hospital.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We've got proper vets too.
Okay,
So, yes.
That's amazing. Now, I'm ready to see more.
Are you? Are you feeling brave enough, are you?
I'm already feeling, all these colors are like brightening up my day, so I'm a bit braver.
Well, let's go. You're most welcome. Let's go through to the hospital. So here we are. This is our consulting room.
All right.
And here we have our first patient.
Nice.
And he's a pit bull. And he has been diagnosed by a wonderful AWA, Animal Welfare Assistant. Come this side of me.
Okay.
There we go. Give me your hand. Just feel that. That's comfort. Okay. See, that's the relationship between a pet and its owner.
Okay.
So look at this. Already you can see he's relaxed. He's confident that nothing's going to happen to him. He's got a lady standing there with a threatening needle, and he's okay with that. Okay. So she'll be treating him. And she looked at him, and you can see his gums are a bit pale and that.
Okay.
He obviously hasn't been eating, not feeling well. He would normally be bouncing up. He's only 4 months old. He should be bouncing up. Hey, his head on my hand.
Okay, so that's how
comfort.
we can identify specific things that the animal does.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so that's what it's about. And look how good he was. There we go.
Wow.
So now you've got one step further into that relationship with animals.
I feel like the further we go into this building, the bigger the challenges feel. Where are we going now?
Now we're going through the hospital. I can go and show you exactly behind the scenes what goes on behind.
Okay, fantastic.
All right. So the sounds you're hearing in the background is the dogs recovering from operations.
Oh, so they're getting up.
Groggy and sort of thing.
Oh.
Getting up, waking up, coming out of the anesthetic. And then, as we were talking about relationships,
Yes.
we don't always have happy relationships.
Ooh.
This is a very sad case of abuse, but not by the owner. The dog went missing. After 4 days, the dog was then found, beaten, bitten, emaciated. These are greyhounds, right?
Yes.
And they're used predominantly for hunting. This is an improvement from about a week ago. This dog wasn't eating or nothing like that.
Okay.
The bandage just gets changed every day, the wounds get clean, and this dog is responding so much. This is, you can imagine what kind of pain that dog must have been in.
Absolutely.
Look how he's loving being handled, and he's being touched, and it's been cleaned, and he's standing dead still.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the downside.
Very sad.
The downside of a relationship.
Before I start crying, let's move along.
Okay, I'll show you the cat area. You can have a look at some cats. To bring one for you, so
Ordinarily not, but let's try ourselves out.
Okay, let's see who'd like to come out. Come on, let's see.
Rory, this one's for you, man.
I want to show you something very interesting. He's called a stud cat.
A stud cat?
Let me show you why.
I'm a stud cat.
Do you see those?
Okay.
Those are bullies, right?
Okay.
So he's a male stud cat and he's a Siamese. Would you like to touch him?
He doesn't look okay today.
He's gorgeous.
For me to touch?
You. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, why do I work here again?
There we go. Here we go.
Okay.
And he's called Spartacus the Great. That's
Spartacus the Great?
Yes.
Cats always have these names. Let's speak about naming your pets. Does that also create a relationship? Because I know some people have pets that they don't name and they just go get the dog.
No. We look at our cats, we look at their behavior predominantly, and then we decide what they're going to be called.
And they respond to their names.
Absolutely.
They end up owning the names as well.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of mandatory to name your pet.
Oh, yes, you must.
You're
you can't say
a bigger
dog
bond.
or cat or horse.
Yeah.
You need to. It also personalizes them. So that's Mr. Spartacus, Kashinka's Spartacus. That's what he's called.
Mr. Spartacus, it is nice to meet you, sir. Where are we going now?
Okay, we can go down to the bottom end, to the horse unit if you'd like.
Oh.
We can go and meet our horse, our resident horse that lives here.
I like a horse. Okay.
Right, and we're at the horse unit. We also treat horses here.
Okay.
We shoe them. Horses wear shoes. This one's not wearing any shoes at the moment.
All right.
And this is Cheese Boy, but I think we should call it Carrot Boy instead.
I think I'm eating my words about being a bit excited. It's much bigger and...
Yeah, it is.
This is a pony, right? It's
yes,
not like
it's a pony.
huge stallion.
No, it's not at all.
Tell me his story or her story.
Well, it's our resident horse. It's been here for very long. And you know that a horse, you never stand directly in front of a horse like this because they can't see directly in front of them and you never stand directly behind them.
Okay.
Because they can't see you as well. Those are their blind spots, in other words.
Okay.
So we shoe horses here too. We also do horse and carts here. So people come with their horse and carts.
Okay.
They use their carts for moving things and furniture, and they collect metal and all of that. And they use their horses as a relationship as well. This is also a relationship with the horse. Okay.
Can you have a horse as a pet?
Oh, yeah, of course. This is a pet.
But so, like, you need it. You can't keep it at home.
Oh, hell no.
Unless you have like
Stable.
a huge stable, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But there's a relationship with the horse as well.
So how do we communicate with this one? What do I do?
Okay, so you need to come a little bit closer and just here. Right here is always a safe spot here. I'm holding them. There we go. And right there. There we go.
Okay.
Not so bad. You see there.
Okay.
Not so bad. Well done. Now you've touched a dog, a cat, a horse.
And now it might just be time for me to go home. I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up.
See,
Thank
look,
you so
look
much.
At that. It's licking.
It's licking you, so does that mean it's comfortable?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it doesn't want me to go because I was about to do a
absolutely.
closing
Would you
lick.
like it to lick?
No. Yo, Buffett, I will go blind. So I actually overcame my fear of dogs. A horse is a brand new one that I need to tackle. We're gonna start establishing these relationships. That's it, man. Relationship goals. I'm out. Wait. When we all say Robert Marawa, we know exactly who we're talking about. Madluputhu ubani kanjani?
Oh, asiyeke lapho.
Keep the channel locked on Mzansi Insider. You know what it is, Mzansi Insider.
Our power person this week is someone who's creating waves in the industry. So much to learn from them. Check this out.
As you know, every single week we bring you inspirational, powerful South Africans. This week is no different. We hang around with Robert Marawa. Robert, welcome. Should I call you like Put Robert?
No, then it means I'm going to have to call you uncle. That's okay, it works that way.
How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. I mean, what an honor to be part of the show.
Yes. Now, when we all say Robert Marawa, we know exactly who we're talking about. Maramasiti Madluputhu.
Madluputhu ile nsizwa nje yabona abantu abaningi ngangibaneza ama nickname. So uthola ukuthi bayahluleka ke bona ukuneza nickname mina. So ngaze ngabasiza ngathi yazi ngoba niyahluleka ngama flop nonke mina ngizoyinikeza yami nickname ngathi Madluputhu. Phela ngiqhamuka emapulazini umuntu osenkandla.
So kahle unikeze wonke umuntu i-nickname wazinikeza nawe i-nickname.
Antu abantu mabehluleka uzokwenza njani? Kufanele ufike ubasiza ngithi. So it was as simple as that, you know, farm boy who digs into Putu or in his cell. Yabona asiyeke lapho, but we will
simple,
talk about
self-explanatory in it. Okay, take me through growing up in KZN for you.
I think it was a simple life, you know, when you're growing up and it's your folks and you're living literally on the farms, which is where we were. Literally no next door neighbor, there was no person that you could call on. So baby pleasant, there was you and then omunye umuntu was like far away. You know, cows, sheep, mealie fields, you know, that kind of life. Simple, basic. But I've never lived in a suburb. It's just literally been farm life until abantu abadala decided to retire from emsebenzini. But bafuna ukubona ulwandle bahamba ke kwapakishwa from enkandla kwayiwe eThekwini.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Let's take it to school. What type of kid were you? Were you that kid who's at the front of the class answering all the questions, or were you at the back slouching in your seat so that they don't see you? What type of...
I think that second one, because I don't know, man, there was just something about school and formal schooling. That didn't really go well with me. It was just almost like, okay, I got a book, I got to read it, I've got to take it in, then when it's exam, I got to regurgitate that. It's really not asking much of me as a person to grow and develop and be a thinker in any way. So preferably I liked debates. I liked where things were engaging, where we were talking about substance and we were talking about what really changes people's lives.
Let's speak about how you got into broadcasting. Did you have to do some type of audition? Did you queue in long lines? For real? Take me through
You know what happens? You know, people now always talk about, hey, mfana ongizame man. Antu khona lapha phakathi. Ongizame, ongikhulumele. You know, hey, obatshela ukuthi ngitswempu yabo. So the thing is, I didn't have that. I just was told, there's the SABC by virtue of the tower that's here. So I walked from the campus at Wits and literally walked into a place where the audition was done. You know, it was like, but luckily for me, they still needed somebody to speak isiZulu nesingisi, that sort of combination. So they put me through the whole audition thing. And luckily, they were quite chuffed and made it and did continuity presenting and, you know, good old Simunye days of telling you that Bold and the Beautiful is coming up.
Next,
and,
yes.
You know, so it was that, but it was fun. I mean, they made a big deal out of it. I think we, the first crew and the first crop of people that were continuity presenters, I mean, that was like celebritydom beyond.
So from continuity presenter to a sports anchor, was this always something that you wanted to do? Were you always interested in sports?
I was. I mean, I did silly things. When my dad bought himself back then, it was like one of the cameras, right? One of the cameras that you guys have. Okay. But then you would slot inside there, like a VHS tape.
Yes.
So when they were not there at the house, I would kind of like put the tape in and then use like a tripod inyana, and then I would come and sit in front. You know, so I would set it.
Okay.
And then I would deliver like stupid news items from a newspaper, almost act like you're a newsreader. You know, so,
so
then you look back and it was
show, like the cameraman, the director, the host.
Director, the everything.
It was written.
So it was literally that, but I wanted to become a sports anchor, not a news anchor.
What would you say sets you apart from everybody else who does sports broadcasting on radio, television? What sets you apart?
Originality. You know, people always like to emulate. People like to be somebody else.
Absolutely.
You know, when you come up with creative things, then you find other people trying to do those same creative things. And then you think to yourself, yo, yeah. Because, I mean, this industry is so wide and it's so wide open that you don't have to copy.
True.
You know, so if you come in with something original, then people will accept that.
So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. Because
Should I be worried, man?
No, don't. I want to ask you everything else we know. Who's your favorite singer?
Probably Alicia Keys.
Oh, really? My next question is, in terms of your type of woman, would you choose Beyonce, Rihanna, or Alicia Keys? You've already selected.
Answered. Done. Sorted.
Dream car. You probably drive your dream car.
I probably do. I probably did.
What? You probably did? So your dreams actually changed. What's your best childhood memory?
Best childhood memory will always be family. You know, small little farmhouse. It was myself and my two sisters in the one bedroom, but it was a double bunker bed. And I obviously slept at the top. And one day I fell from that double bunker bed. It was Christmas Day. Managed to cut myself here on the chin. Ended up in the hospital, getting stitches, Christmas Day. So, yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yo, Mary.
Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. That day.
Now we're making you choose. TV or radio?
Both.
Why? I want to know why you can't choose, because obviously I do get the fact that they're different mediums, but I want to understand for you as someone who's in both of them.
You know, the difficulty is that I'd always wanted to do television. I got the chance to do TV. Radio was literally Romeo Kumalo saying, dude, come do whatever you're doing on TV and radio. We believe there's a platform for you here. And I'd never thought of radio. I'd always admired radio and listened to radio and followed radio. And I kind of got free reign to do what I do in terms of sport. You know, it fitted. So I can't say one or the other.
Okay, what's your favorite song right now, though?
Like, I don't have a favorite song right now. I just like mash it up. I just like mix a whole lot of music.
Something like maybe Black Coffee or some AKA, maybe?
Just sing that one for me again.
I'd rather not, but those are quick fire questions which went really quick because I like the fact that you're explanatory and proves that you are definitely in broadcasting.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to us. It's been fantastic. You're a very chilled guy, and now I know for a fact that his voice is real, guys. It's not a radio voice.
Yes, with a cat. No, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. You got a cool show, and keep inspiring. And I thank everybody, youth and the elder, because you can't always say, that's where you're targeting.
Absolutely.
Because everybody watches.
So and you're doing a bad job if you don't spill over.
100%.
Catch
you on my show soon.
Hopefully. Unfortunately, it is time for us to wrap it up right there, man. It's the end of the show.
What an awesome show we've had.
Today, I can say it's unfortunate that we have to leave.
Yeah, no, because it really is unfortunate. Tresor coming through, opening up the show, and also just getting to know him a little bit better, and just his story puts a lot of things in perspective. When you listen to his music, you're just rooting for him now. Awesome interview.
Vumi, schooling as usual on careers.
Dude.
This is it. You need to identify the career that you want to do.
And the person who's doing what you want to do.
Absolutely, and it's all based on you, your personality, so know thyself.
Yes, and we also had relationships with all the cats and the dogs and the parrots and the rabbits and the penguins and the horses and all the animals, which was awesome. But now it's time for us to say goodbye.
On that note, goodbye. The cats.
And the penguins and the kangaroos and the birds and the fishes and all the nice animals of the whole world. We love you.